There's a part of the Christmas story people rarely talk about. And honestly, it feels like something straight out of a political thriller. A powerful king hears about the birth of a baby, and suddenly the entire palace goes into quiet panic. But the real story? The part behind the scenes? That's where things get interesting. One calm day in Jerusalem, a group of wise men showed up. Not warriors, not rebels, just peaceful scholars following a strange star across the sky. With all the innocence in the world, they asked the city, "Where is the child born to be king?" That one question traveled faster than they expected, straight into Herod's palace. Herod didn't show it on his face, but something shifted inside. The idea of another king, even a newborn, felt like a threat he didn't see coming. He immediately called the religious leaders and asked where this so-called Messiah was meant to be born. When they told him the prophecy pointed to Bethlehem, his mind started calculating. Not openly, but quietly, the way fear usually works. He invited the wise men privately, pretending interest. He asked them when they first saw the star, trying to estimate the child's age. Then, with the calmest voice, he said, "Go to Bethlehem, find the child, and come back and tell me, so I can go and worship him too." But deep down, he had a completely different plan. When fear enters a heart, it rarely tells the truth. The wise men left the palace and followed the star until it rested over the child. Filled with joy, they worshipped and gave their gifts. But when it was time to return to Herod, something in their spirit felt uneasy. That night, a quiet warning came in a dream telling them not to go back. So they took another route out of the country and disappeared. Herod waited. Hours turned into days. When he finally realized the wise men weren't returning, everything inside him erupted. His fear became anger, and his anger became a dangerous order, the kind of decision people make when they feel their control slipping. But here's the part Herod didn't know. While he was planning in the palace, heaven had already planned an escape. Joseph, unaware of Herod's anger, suddenly had a dream. Take the child, leave immediately, go to Egypt. No thunder, no drama, just a quiet, perfectly timed instruction, the kind that saves a destiny before the danger even arrives. Joseph woke Mary in the middle of the night, wrapped the child, and they slipped out of Bethlehem silently. While soldiers marched in one direction, the future they were looking for was already miles ahead on the road to Egypt. Herod had power, soldiers, influence, and authority, but he still couldn't stop a prophecy. Not because he wasn't strong, but because he was fighting a plan that didn't start with him in the first place. Some battles are bigger than fear and control, and some destinies are already written. But the story doesn't end there. King Herod sent soldiers to Bethlehem with an order. Every male child 2 years old and under, wipe them out. It was a night mothers would never forget. Cries filled the streets. Dreams were crushed before they even had names. And it fulfilled what the prophet had written. Mothers weeping for their children, refusing to be comforted. But even in the middle of that heartbreaking moment, heaven was still writing a different story. While Herod was unleashing fear in Bethlehem, the child he wanted to destroy was asleep safely in Egypt, protected, hidden, covered. And time passed. The same king who tried to erase a prophecy slowly began to fade away. His health declined, his influence weakened, and eventually, the man who once terrified a whole kingdom died afraid. After Herod's death, an angel appeared again to Joseph in a dream. The ones who wanted the child dead are gone. It's safe. Go back. So Joseph packed their bags and began the journey back to Israel. But when he heard that Herod's son, Archelaus, was now ruling, he felt a quiet warning in his spirit. So instead of returning to Bethlehem, he took Mary and the young Jesus to a small, quiet town called Nazareth, a place no one expected, a place no one celebrated, yet a place prophecy had already pointed to. And that's how the child they tried to kill became the Nazarene they could never stop. No throne on earth could stop what heaven had already decided. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more powerful stories of faith and destiny.